Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Arcus and today, to try to improve my art, I have decided to recreate a famous painting. I've selected a Dutch painting that's called A Girl with a Pearl Earring, who was painted in oil by the Dutch painter Johannes Vermeer in 1665. It's quite a famous painting and it's really striking. I love the expression of the girl as she kind of turns to the painter as if caught in the moment. And what's pretty interesting about this one is that this painting in particular is a tronie, which is the Dutch 17th century description of a head that was not meant to be a portrait. What this means is that although someone probably did sit in as a model for this drawing, this painting is not actually a real person. The model probably didn't look exactly like this, and Vermeer took what he liked and kind of added to it with what he wanted from his imagination, which is something similar to what a lot of artists do today, where they use reference and then kind of built off of that reference. And so with all of this in mind, I will be digitally recreating this painting today on my iPad using the program Procreate. Hello everyone, long time no see. I'm terribly sorry for the long hiatus I just kind of suddenly went on without much notice beforehand. The reason it happened as it did was I wasn't planning on it to happen. I was thinking, okay, well, things were kind of getting rough a little bit at the beginning of the summer. I was losing a lot of motivation and I didn't really know what to do with myself. And I thought, okay, I'll just take this week off. I won't post a video this week because I don't have anything ready. And then 1 week turned into 2 weeks, turned into 3 weeks, you know how it went. And then suddenly the entire summer has passed and I haven't really uploaded anything. And I'm really sorry about that. I'm sorry that I wasn't really saying anything on social media because when these problems came along, I just kind of dropped everything. I mean, I spent a lot of time like scrolling through social media and like watching YouTube and all that kind of stuff, and I didn't even want to do that. And so I didn't really say anything, but hopefully I'll be back now, and back in a way where before my schedule was uploading on the first Friday and the third Friday of every month, and so this meant that there was a 2-week difference between every upload. Sometimes 3 weeks, depending on like how the ending of the month went, because sometimes months have almost 5 weeks in the month instead of 4, and that just felt like a lot of time between uploads. I don't really like that. So even though I'm still prioritizing school first, I'm hoping to be able to upload weekly, so that there's less time. And if it happens that I cannot upload weekly, I'm definitely going to be more open, more transparent about kind of what's going on, if I'm uploading or not, on my Twitter, on my Instagram, where you can find the links to both of those down below. Even maybe on my DeviantArt, I've kind of abandoned that a bit, but they've kind of been making some improvements, and I'm still testing the water, seeing if I like it or not, seeing if I want to head back there. The link to my DeviantArt is also down below, so keep an eye out on that as well. And so thanks for sticking around, guys, and hopefully this year will be even better and more on task, and with more of a goal than it was last year. Last year was more kind of just a trial period. This year is more of a let's improve period. Let's improve my drawing skills and show you guys what I'm doing to improve. Hence why I'm doing this right now. So I know that I have issues when it comes to my art with shapes and colors and form. That's because most of the art that I have done for most of my years have been sketches. I'm pretty good at sketching. Like, obviously I'm not amazing. There's a lot of things I'm not pleased with and I want to improve on, even in sketching form, but by far my sketching abilities are way greater than any of my coloring abilities. And unfortunately this means when I'm sitting down and wanting to do a full-fledged drawing, I get discouraged very easily and almost bored because, well, bored's not the right word. I know once I get past that sketching phase, I'm going to have to either line it or somehow color it, and I don't like really doing line art, but I don't really know how to do art without line art, so I do it anyways, and it's kind of not fun. But then I get to the coloring and everything's even worse because I suck at coloring. I mean, I can read so much about color theory, and I get it. I know what complementary colors are. I know how to, like, I get it. So, I mean, in theory, I get it. But then actually applying it is like a whole different thing, because I'm like, all right, I'm gonna use these complementary colors. Like, it'll be all blue with a little bit of yellow highlights or something. And then, you know what? It just doesn't work out that well. And so to improve on these specific ideas, I'm much more of a learner that learns by doing than just by reading. And there's all these wonderful, wonderful artists out there that have been painting for years and years before I even was born. So I decided to do these sort of like master studies on top of other things such as like figure drawing and whatnot to get better at shapes. But these specific master drawings, like the one I'm doing here, is more about learning how to use my colors. Because as I have done more and more art, I mean, as anyone does more and more art, their observant artist eye improves. And so now when I go to museums, I see a lot of things that I didn't see when I was a lot younger. And I think to myself, like, oh, I see how he used color here. I'm going to apply that to my own art. But I don't actually see it as well as I think I do, and plus I forget, and there's like all these issues. So actually doing it, sitting down and recreating the artwork is a lot different than just looking at it in a museum and being like, oh, I get it, because I don't. Not as well as I think I do. And what was really interesting with this drawing is, so Johannes Vermeer used all these blues and yellows that are almost brown in this painting. And I found, so I didn't use any color picker off of the direct painting. I just used the color wheel and then picked my own colors. And I realized pretty early on that the colors he was using to shade by, like, they weren't really that different. He only used like 3 or 4 like base colors, and then just used made all of his shadows and highlights and everything based on those couple of colors. They're all in the same family with each other, kind of like the brown coat is shaded with blue, the same blue that you find in her turban, and like it was a really, really interesting exercise to see exactly how he used the shadows and the highlights using the same colors, like the base of colors that were found throughout the entire painting. Now, as you'll probably see at the end, I mean, you'll definitely see at the end, my drawing is pretty different from his. There's a lot of, especially in the face, in the shading in the face of like my eyes, the painting that I did, her eyes are significantly bigger, probably because of my own like anime influence and stuff, than what I was seeing what Johannes Vermeer painted. So there are problems, but overall, even though it's not identical, it was still a very informative exercise, and I'm looking to do more like this specifically, and not just like figure drawings, or I've been doing some sketches of animals and stuff like that. I'm looking to do more like still lifes and whatnot, because and master paintings like these ones, or master painting recreations, because they will tell me more about shape and color than just looking at like pictures of things and then sketching those pictures. So it's really nice that I have my iPad now and I'm able to draw on the go. I keep telling myself that I'm gonna, go to the local art museum with my iPad and just kind of sit in front of paintings and sketch directly from the paintings. But that hasn't happened yet because I am shy and I don't want people looking over my shoulder and seeing me drawing and all that, so I haven't worked up the courage to do that quite yet. But I have been going more and taking pictures of artworks that I've liked and then looking them up on my computer to recreate them at home in the safety of my room where no one can see me. But I'm bringing this up to kind of just say how much I really, really enjoy having my iPad to draw on. The only other drawing tablet I've ever had is a Bamboo Pen and Touch tablet, so I've never had a screen drawing software. I do have a two-in-one laptop where I drew on the screen for a little while, but there were a lot of issues happening where the screen and the keyboard, the cable between them was getting like stuck when I was flipping over my screen. And unfortunately, this would lead to the screen blacking out a lot, and I had to send it in for repair. So I'm not really doing that anymore. Especially now that I have my iPad. So I don't really have a lot of experience with screen drawing things, but I really like my iPad because it's thin, it's light and mobile. It's like connected to the internet and stuff. It's really easy to put things in like my Dropbox or like my Drive and share files back and forth. I can, watch movies and stuff if I don't feel like drawing or whatever. Don't really do much else on it other than draw and then like watch some shows or whatever. But it's cool to use. Procreate is very, very intuitive to pick up. It was a little hard at first with all the different brushes. Like I'm still trying to figure out what brushes I like to use, what I want to do. In this specific drawing, I used what is called the, I think it's the Nico Roll brush. It's kind of square and chalky, and I like the texture because it adds to, like this drawing in particular, it adds a little bit of a traditional feel to it because it's not just like a solid block of color, and I feel like that really worked in the favor of this drawing in particular. But I still haven't really found my favorite brushes just yet. I'm still kind of playing around, but it's super easy to just pick up and like sit in bed, and then I have all of these ideas for digital drawings that I want to do, and it's pretty easy to just sit down and get started on them and then get stuck really easily because I'm still figuring out brushes to use and how I want to color and whatnot. And I'm just saying all this because I was thinking of maybe doing a review of the iPad, but I don't know if I'm the best qualified for that because I have not experienced many other drawing tablets. And the iPad, it's kind of expensive. I bought mine refurbished, but even so, it costs quite a bit, and with the case and the Apple Pencil, and I don't even have a screen protector because good screen protectors are like another $30, and I was like, I don't feel like spending that. And I really don't mind how smooth the screen is so far, because I've definitely heard of people saying that they get screen protectors that kind of wear down the tip of their Apple Pencil, and I don't really want that because the Apple Pencil comes with 2 tips only, and I haven't looked at how much extra, replacement like nibs are, and I don't really want to find out because I'm sure they're pricey. So I've kind of just learned to draw on the screen as it is, and it's really not bad if you have the money to spend for it. If you're really looking to be able to draw on the go and improve your drawing, because this has definitely helped me do more digital art than I ever have done before. I do think it's a worthy investment. Plus, it's pretty cool with like me doing YouTube videos. I can Procreate record the screen, I can easily record my iPad screen, and as you can see now, I can just film myself drawing directly on the screen, drawing these beautiful luscious lips, which I wanted to include because I think they're my favorite part of the drawing. I don't usually draw shiny lips or lips that well in general. And so I think these turned out pretty great, and I wanted to show them. And it's cool that you can, it's like so versatile, and just really pretty easy to use. So if you have the means, I would recommend looking into potentially getting an iPad, because I've definitely heard of a lot of stories of people just doing all of their professional work on their iPad and using Procreate or Clip Studio Paint, which I have yet to try, because it's a subscription on the iPad instead of a one-time purchase like it is on your computer. So I've just been using Procreate, but even so, it's been really good, and I have really enjoyed having it and using it, and I think it's been pretty helpful to my journey as an artist to have such a tool available, because I like things being convenient, and this really helps cut down on that quote-unquote laziness when it comes to my drawing. And so we're kind of wrapping up this drawing now. As you can see, I painted in that pearl earring that is the namesake of the painting. Very important because it's kind of hidden in shadows. You only see a little like shine on it, and some people even speculate if it even is a pearl because of just like how big it is. But considering Johannes Vermeer drew this from imagination, a lot of it probably was intended to be a pearl, and he just kind of made it bigger because why not? And so yeah, I added a little bit of things in the background just to kind of make the painting a little more cohesive, make it look like she's staring towards something. And now you can see the two of them, the original and my own version, next to each other. As you can see, there's quite a difference, especially in the shadows in the face and in the shape of the face. But I know that the more I do this, the better I'm going to get. And I actually thoroughly enjoyed doing this, and so I know I will definitely do it again. And I think it's a good exercise to do. So once again, I just wanted to say thank you so much for sticking with me and being around, and I'm totally looking forward to this year and what's to come. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.